Hi, everybody. This is Paul Hitchcock, founder and president of Giant Jacks Media, where we are helping others to grow and nurture their businesses. This is Giant TV, and love this channel. This is where I have really interesting people, entrepreneurs doing amazing things, and Mariana Dalto is certainly one of them. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate your invitation.
Yeah, this is great. So we were talking a bit offline, and I just want to jump into this and get into tell a little bit about your background and how you got into the space you're in, which is doing digital marketing and coaching and so forth. So I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, sure. So my background, so I'm originally from Argentina. I grew up there, um, built my career in marketing back in Argentina. And then 20 years ago, I moved to the US. I live in the greater Chicago area. And my goal was to keep growing my career in the US. And that's why I moved here. And I was explaining to you earlier, like, get my MBA
Yeah,
and
yeah.
keep growing my career. And so I've been in corporate marketing for 30 years, basically, between
Okay.
Argentina and the US. And so
Quick
between my
question. I got
corporate
to ask
career,
you a quick question
yeah,
because they say Argentina, there's an Argentinian steakhouse in San Francisco. They said the steak is great.
it is.
Chicago, yeah, well, Chicago claims they have great meat. Who's better?
Well, it's different. And I have to say I like the Argentinian better because it's my style, but
Of course.
Chicago has good steak too.
All right. Well,
But
now we
Argentina
got
is the
that settled.
winner.
Argentina's a winner. I
And
love
the
it.
wine.
And the wine, of course, of course. Awesome. Okay, so digital marketing. Yeah, so you were saying about that?
Yeah, so I've been like in corporate marketing for the past, 20 years. And this is my passion. This is what I went to school for. Then I got my MBA in finance, but my marketing has been kind of like, and sales has been my passion and why I continue growing my career in that area. And then in some point I started transitioning into getting my own business, all because I started coaching people. And then that's how I started kind of like the lab of like helping people in a different way.
Yeah, no, I love it. And Mariana, and who are you working with first? Is it small businesses, big businesses, everybody? Who's your target audience?
There are small business owners who are service-based businesses. So it could
Okay.
be coaches, consultants, financial advisors, could be bookkeepers, real estate agents, anyone who needs like who has services and helping other people with what they offer.
Okay. And all over the country?
Yes, in the US, all over US. Yes.
All
I
over the
do have,
US.
I mean, I work with clients outside the US too, but typically I market my business in the US.
Got it. And then what specifically are you focused on with your discipline? So you're helping a real estate agent. Give me an example. What would you be doing for a real estate agent?
Yeah, so the main thing that I try to help them is understand first, where do they have gaps in their business? So I look at their way of them doing business, if they have a system in place. So sometimes, the system starts with having understanding what are their business goals from the first place. Sometimes people struggle understanding why they're not growing. So I do a lot of exploration and a lot of questions, understanding what are their goals, what they're trying to achieve with the business, what's the passion, why they're doing what they're doing, right?
Okay.
And then what have implemented so far in their business to understand, okay, where do you might have gaps within your business? Do you have gaps maybe getting clients? Do you have gaps maybe doing your marketing well? Do you have systems in place? Do you have, are you struggling maybe closing sales? Do you have a sales process? Or are you very well versed with your systems, but now you want to scale and then you want to move, your revenue to the next level? So everyone is different regardless of the industry.
Yeah. So you're diagnosing the issue there. And when you say you're looking at the systems they have or don't have, do you mean like things like CRMs, automated things going on, like all that?
Yeah, and it's not just like the technology piece, which that's a big one, but it's like understanding how they're managing their business. Like, do they have a clear target? Do they
Okay.
know what they're going after from a revenue standpoint? Because if you know what you're trying to achieve within the year, then you're gonna start like working towards that target. And
Yeah.
sometimes people even like have an ideal target, but then when they're not getting to those numbers, they start lowering the target instead of like increasing their activity.
Yeah.
So it could be from having clarity on what you're going to try, what is it that you want to try to achieve for your business during the year. It's understanding if you have clarity on how to get attention in the market for what you offer. If you have systems in place from a marketing standpoint, and within systems, there's so many things within marketing,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's just, and then, do you have a system to create lead generation, right? Do you know how to get leads? Do you have funnels? Do you have a solid website? Do you have email sequences? So there's systems in place. And then from a sales standpoint, some people don't even have a system, like a process from a sales process, right? So how do you typically, once you get the lead, what do you do with the lead? Are you reaching out the lead right away? Do you have systems for that? Do you have systems
Yeah.
to understand what's the best way to have a sales process to convert those leads, right?
Yeah.
Some people kind of like, oh, I try to do this or that, but they don't have a system to see, okay, this is the way I'm doing it, it's working, I'm converting, I can increase my lead generation now because I have a system in place. And that's how you start hiring too, because then you scale and then you have teams and you have a system in training those teams. So then they know what they're doing. But that's where people get so confused about, okay, what do I do? I'm struggling everywhere. So we try to focus on what are the top 3 pain points that you have in your business, and then let's start with a 90-day plan, and from there, keep going.
Got it. And then so if you identify these gaps, they don't have email campaign going on or lead generation, whatever it is, somewhere else, do you actually then implement those things and execute on it for them? Like they hire you to do email campaigns, they hire you to do content creation and posting. So you doing that also?
Yeah, so what I do, so I'm a coach and I'm an advisor. So what I try to teach them is to fish the fish, to catch the fish, not to um, do it for them specifically, because the idea is I don't want them to depend on me. I want them to learn. So that's how they grow. And then if they learn how to do it, then they can hire teams, that they can delegate those things. So maybe they already have a team that they can teach them how to delegate. So if they don't know how to do it, I will teach them how to do it. But then in some point it'll transfer that to the owner or to their teams to do it themselves. But
Got it.
that's where the struggle is. People understands the concept of what they need to get done, but they don't understand the sequence and they don't understand how to do it. So that's why I'm trying to combine the coaching to understand where the gaps are, and then the implementation so then they can get things done and then move on to the next pain point that they have in their business.
Got it. Okay, that's clear. That's great. And then if someone engages you, how long does an engagement typically last? You go in, you advise. I imagine you have a blueprint, you put this together. Is how long is the engagement typically there?
Well, if people are looking specifically for getting coach and advising on their business, so I start with the big pictures like, okay, so ideally you want to work for a year with a coach because in a year you see significantly growth in your business, right?
Right, of
So
course.
that's where you see it. Now, in 6 months, you're going to see a lot of progress in your business if you work for 6 months with a coach and an advisor. And then, I always tell clients, at least you need to commit for a minimum of 3 months because it takes a lot for understanding the gaps, the mission, what they're trying to accomplish, and then starting implementing. So
Sure, for sure.
regardless that ideally you want to work for a year, in 6 months you see a lot of benefits, you need minimum 3 months to start working and implementing.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that for sure. And then what do you love most about your job? I mean, you're obviously a people person. You and I were chatting, but what motivates you? What do you get out of it?
The transformation that I see on clients, because one of the things that I identified in the past few years, like, not just with my business, but also like working in corporations and working with people, is the transformation, how people realize their limited beliefs. They realize that, oh my gosh, I didn't know that I could do this. Or or once they do it, then they feel so proud of themselves for doing it that they never thought that that would be possible. So making those shifts on people to understand, yeah, absolutely, you can have a different perspective on what you're facing today, and that's gonna take you to the next level. So people are very fixed in how they're thinking. So I
Yeah.
help them think differently, and that's where the breakthrough comes. And when I see that, their eyes light up, because it's amazing. That's the part that is the gratification that I get from working with people. But it takes time. It's not like a one session here and then you get it, you see the progress, right? It takes time, it takes
Yeah.
commitment, it takes accountability. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think what you're doing is so valuable because that landscape is dynamic, right? Sales, marketing, lead gen, having that whole piece in place and running smoothly is dynamic. It's changing all the time. And with AI and automation now, it just seems like everything new is every day. It's crazy. And people are trying to figure out what to do. Everyone's all over the map with that. So this is a valuable service. And I want to tell people listening that wherever you're watching this, because we simulcast this on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, that Mariana's information is going to be around this video. I highly encourage you, get connected with her. I've seen your content. You're doing some great stuff. So appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here.
thank you for offering me to have a space in your show and to be able to share with the world that, there's possibilities out there. People can grow. If you have the mindset to be open to a transformation, you can get it. You can do
I
it.
agree. Well said. Well said. Thank you. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you. Take care.